Now, a growing movement in Nigeria is pushing to bring neurodivergent individuals into the workforce. The effort focuses on including people with conditions like autism, ADHD, and dyslexia. The push is moving beyond awareness to concrete policy. The National Information Technology Development Agency, or NITDA, has affirmed that including an estimated 35 million Nigerians with disabilities is central to the nation's digital strategy. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has also urged the public to embrace neurodiversity and ensure equal access to education and jobs. However, significant challenges remain. Experts point to a lack of diagnosis, especially in rural areas, and persistent social stigma. In the workplace, tailored support and accommodations are still not widespread. Advocates say the next steps must include expanding early intervention services, training educators, and encouraging employers to adopt more flexible and inclusive hiring practices. Now for an in-depth analysis of the future of neurodiversity in Nigeria. Rising from awareness to workforce development, education psychologist and founder, Force ABA Center and Creative Hub, Dr. Osesuzi Bolodeoku, joins us now. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, it's good to be here.
Now, I'd like you to tell us what Force ABA means and what inspired you to go into this study focusing on neurodiversity in the workplace.
Okay, that is, we have the time, right, for that? So force actually is an ancient Greek word. It means light. It means to throw light into something, illuminate something. And applied behavior analysis is ABA. Applied behavior analysis is science and is the only evidence-based science that works in changing behaviors. And as we know, neurodiversity, when we talk about neurodivergence, we're dealing with behavioral conditions that reflect, when you see them practically, you see that is behavioral. I mean, social communications, like individuals talking to people, those when they cannot carry out behaviors that they would in social settings, right? So that's what ABA is for, is a treatment for behavioral conditions, yes.
All right, looking at specifics now, how would you assess neurodiversity in Nigeria relating to cultural misconceptions? You already talk about traits like laziness, naughtiness, etc., and the ones you just mentioned as well.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So neurodiversity is an umbrella term, right? And the umbrella term covers all neurotypes. So we have the neurodivergents and the neurotypicals. The neurotypicals are those that we assume are normal, like you and I, and then the neurodivergents are those that ADHD falls under, autism falls under. However, it's a spectrum, right? Let me take for example, autism is a spectrum.
Indeed.
Yes, and we have different strengths. In the spectrum, we can have a level 1 autistic individual, we can have a level 2 and a level 3. However, in level 1, perhaps they can communicate when they need something, not that they spontaneously just do it, but they can do all that, so they need some sort of support, right? And a level 3 that is profoundly autistic may need more substantial support. But the trick is, a level 3 may have some savient skills that a level 1 doesn't have. So the focus for me is looking at the individual and looking at their strengths and their skills. And it's so easy for you to know what they thrive at. It's so easy what comes easy to them, because you just put them in the environment, throw them into the environment and see how they interact with the environment and see where they lean towards. And with that, even if you think that is, say, their tabs, for example, say social media, for example, say it's gaming, but you could still use that as a reinforcer to get them to achieve and be something for themselves. And these individuals, because they're hyper-focused, I think that there are a lot of skills we're not tapping into as a nation, as organizations, even as families. We just assume that they are not able to do a lot. For example, I mean, Cain Tabo for the Guinness Book of Records, the guy, the dude that drew the biggest painting in the world is autistic. is non-verbal. So when he doesn't vocalize, he doesn't speak in words. However, he's breaking world records. So that's just an
so would you
example.
attribute that to the lack of awareness and understanding of this, neurodiversity in Nigeria? How would you rate our level of awareness? And also when you look at cultural perception, school community, and all of these things, how do you think they influence how we understand and help identify these people so that we can tap into the talent as you just spoke about?
It's deeply ingrained in our society. The cultural, our cultural beliefs. You find people saying that, oh, this is in our family and it's not something to be spoken of. You even find people that have, terminal illnesses that you get to know much later after they've passed on, just because we're quiet about those things. But there's something I think would really, really help us, and I call it the triple A, which is the awareness. When we are aware, knowledge is pretty much everything as far as I'm concerned. When we know better, we do better. When we're aware that this is a different neurotype, this is not a less situation, we are all different, then we accept. And in acceptance, we're like making room, making allowances for those people, understanding that we're different. And then there is accommodations. That's where we want to get to. Accommodations is where we want inclusion, where representation matters for everyone. Because, everyone has their gifts to give to the society. Look at the great minds. Look at Albert Einstein. Look at Thomas Edison. They all had these conditions and traits of these conditions, meaning there's something that those individuals are here to do that we that are neurotypical, that our minds are all over the places, like I'm trying to be present here, distracted by your blue, beautiful blue and all that, but a neurodivergent individual is very hyper-focused.
All right. Okay, let me just come in. The issue of late diagnosis of certain traits, how is that contributing to academic or social setbacks, you think?
Is contributing a whole lot, I would say, because my worry is for those children that are perhaps level 1, like I said, and level 2, that can fit into the classroom. However, they are not able to learn the way other children can learn in the classroom. So they are called the Dondies, the Olodos. Meanwhile, they just learn differently. So that, and parents really do not know what to do. So their trainings, when you see the streets, when we come from the mindset of there is a gap, not name calling, you say, okay, this child is not able to do this as a profession, as an educator, there is a gap. How do we fix this gap? You look at what you're looking at, not the individual, not condemning the individual, but what does this individual need? Then you look at for trainings, and you look at for professionals that could help work with your child to fix those gaps. So I think, let's look at the gap.
So are we seeing that happen? Are these gaps being closed, especially when it comes to getting the teachers trained to identify and support these pupils that need special care?
Okay, the good thing is the history of autism. The first time was when they used to call it a childhood schizophrenic disorder. So imagine childhood madness, and we're here now talking about it as a difference, right? So we're making progress. And in making progress, for example, for ABA Center, we just got certified by the International Board to carry out, to train parents, professionals, medical doctors, psychologists that are interested. And you train, you get your coursework, you get your field work as well. Then you can sit for your board exam. You can travel to write your board exam. You can write it anywhere in the world. And then you get licensed internationally. So trainings like that, I mean, we're making progress. That makes me really excited.
All right, just before we let you go, relating to workforce development, how can support and acceptance be achieved, do you think?
It can be achieved. Oh, absolutely, it can be achieved. And it starts with you and I. It starts with live and let's live. It starts with knowing that, oh, you've got a code and your voice could be a bit I just understand that because I know I can put myself in your shoes, right? It starts with the KPIs, the HRs, like targeting KPIs to fit individuals. I think we'll make more progress that way than just giving everybody the standardized testing like they do in school.
Okay.
So it starts with you and I being intentional and understanding that we'll give grace and understanding that we'll make room for every other person. And we're so different. I think that's the hardest part for us to understand as humans, that it's not the way you think that other people think. When we learn to be paralogical and we understand that, okay, there are different opinions, but I still hold on to my own and I allow you. Let's start from there.
And we hope that from there we'll be able to get this, understanding of how to help these neurodivergent people
Absolutely,
more.
and you can come train at Force ABA Center. It would be lovely.
Well done. You're doing a good job. Thank you so much, Dr. Osesuzi Bolodeoku, founder of Force ABA Center and Creative Hub.